Hey everyone, so I did a previous video where essentially it was Q&A. I asked you guys to ask a bunch of questions, and this is now the video where I answer them. This is the first live stream, so essentially if I mess something up, usually in other videos, I would immediately re-edit it, just how I am. But since this is a live stream, it's going to be unedited, unfiltered, so here we go. The first thing is what I'm going to do, just to let you guys know, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be breaking down to the questions that each person asked. So let's say one person asked 3 questions. I'm going to focus on those 3 questions that that specific person went, and then I'll go to each individual. So first person I'm going to focus on is Max Renn. Max Renn asked some of your favorite horror films of all time. Me personally, some of my favorite are The Shining, Hereditary, The Witch, Silence of the Lambs, Suspiria, 2018. 1977 one was pretty good too. Psycho, 1960. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Jaws, The Exorcist, Conjuring. I do really like horror films. I think horror is a very interesting genre. Um, his next question is, what are some of your favorite film directors? Also, great question. Something nobody's really asked me before. So, some of my favorite directors are David Fincher, who might honestly be my favorite director, Paul Thomas Anderson, Stanley Kubrick, Sergio Leone, David Lynch, Wes Anderson, Billy Wilder, Hitchcock. A lot of great directors that I like, and a lot of directors that I really honestly respect. His next question is there a film you would like to see a sequel that you never got one? Also, a very good question. Not gonna lie, this took me a couple days to kind of focus on because, like you said, there are a lot of times where movies they get sequels that they don't deserve. But a movie that I honestly thought that I would have liked to see a sequel to, like an actual sequel, is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 2011. David Fincher's masterpiece of a film was incredible. I think it's a great standalone movie, but to see Rooney Mara and Daniel Craig like in another adaptation of that, like the sequel, I would have liked that. We got a sequel, but it had a totally different cast, totally different director. So, yeah, that's a movie I definitely would have liked to see an actual sequel to. Um, his next question, actually, and his last question was a film that you would like to see a modern remake of. Also, a very good question. And this one I also had to kind of rack my brain around because I'm one of those personal believers that a movie doesn't really need a remake um, unless it wasn't good to begin with. However, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was a movie that I loved as a child. Still to this day, I really like it. But I feel as though nobody really talks about it. So to make it relevant for 21st century, I feel like it'd be cool to see a remake of that. The original was, filled with a great cast, great special effects. So why not have a great cast, great special effects, and a great script, and make it for modern audiences? Because I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean was great, the first one at least. So it's like, why not have another one that's kind of like that, where it's like based on a ride? I don't know. And a book, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is one of those movies where I feel like it would be ripe for a remake, even though I do really respect and like the original. So those were Max Renn's questions, really good questions. Next up is Johnny Christ. Johnny Christ asked a couple questions. The first one is favorite movie. That's a great question. If you had asked me 2 3 years ago, I would have honestly said Shawshank Redemption. Shawshank Redemption is still my top 100, but as of right now, it's going to sound crazy, but American Beauty is actually my favorite movie. I love that movie. I think it's a perfect balance of comedy and drama. The messages are very insightful. The acting is across the charts, and the cinematography I absolutely adore. But again, that's for right now. It might change. You never know. Mulholland Drive's up there. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is also up there. So you never know. Favorite TV show? Another great question, Johnny Christ. You really know how to ask these great questions. Um, it's honestly between Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones, which, ironically, if you look, that's Breaking Bad, and that's Game of Thrones off in the corner right there. I love both. Both are great shows, in my opinion. I don't know. Part of me says Breaking Bad, like by an inch, because when I look at Breaking Bad, I say every single season is like perfection, pretty much. Game of Thrones, I think that it's perfection for the first 6 seasons, and then 7 and 8, it's just blockbuster spectacle that I enjoy, but it's not fantastic. Larry of LC Screen Talk knows what I'm talking about. But for now, I'm going to say by like a centimeter, Breaking Bad. Johnny Christ, next question. If you made a movie, what genre would it be? Um, I would honestly say art house horror because with horror, you can make a movie that's very low budget. But I also kind of, I don't know, I have that mindset of I like to make artsy stuff. So I feel like I would really like to make an artsy movie. And in fact, I've helped my little brother make movies, and like we did a horror movie, and it was genuinely speaking a dialogue-free movie. So that's kind of artsy, right? But yeah, art house horror. Um, do you think we're running out of ideas? Johnny Christ also asks. In a way, yes and no. I feel as though this is something that I have a debate with a lot of times with a lot of my friends. I feel like there are ideas out there that could get, kind of done a little bit differently. But I do feel like it is kind of difficult where filmmaking's been going on for 100 years. So I feel like it is kind of difficult to make things different and original. It's difficult. I mean, I know it's easy for a film critic such as myself to sit back and say, oh, why don't you do this, this, and this? But like the truth is, it's a money making industry. So it's like they have to make things safe. But I do feel like that there are still ambitious directors out there that are willing to take risks. And I don't know. I honestly do feel as though it's a mixed bag of a question. There's no right or wrong answer. I think that yes, there kind of is a lack of ideas. Although 20 years ago, not so much because being John Malkovich came out 20 years ago. That movie was pure originality. So I don't know. Sorry if it's a vague answer I gave, but that's my thoughts on if we're running out of ideas. Next up, Johnny Christ, you're done with. Next question, Saber008, aka actually one of my friends, Austin, asks, "What would you change in your favorite film to make it even better?" Wow, that's a great question. So Johnny Christ, he got my answer of my favorite movie is American Beauty. What I would change about American Beauty is something that I don't even really think the movie can really change. Like it's kind of like, and it's Kevin Spacey. Like the whole scandal is Kevin Spacey. Like it's one of those things where because of that whole scandal, this is the type of movie where you can't really recommend to people saying, "Hey, check out American Beauty," because like in that regards, it hasn't aged well because of the whole Kevin Spacey scandal, given the premise of the movie. But if you take that out, I would say the one thing I would change is as much as I love the opening scene, and trust me, I really love the opening scene of the movie. I kind of do wish that it was more of a mystery as to like the fact that he died. Like literally, the opening scene lets you know that he dies, and yes, you don't know how he dies, but I do kind of wish that it was like that part was kind of like taken out because it would have been even more of a surprise. It was a surprise to begin with, but I don't know. I wish that that was one thing. It's a minor nitpick because I still love the movie. Next up, Marco. Marco, I apologize if I butcher your name. Marko Dujmov. He asks, looks like 6 questions. So the first one is, what is your favorite horror TV show? Hannibal. Hannibal, the one show that was actually on NBC that actually was ballsy and took risks and ended way too soon. Hannibal's a great show. If you like Silence of the Lambs, check out Hannibal. Fantastic show. Next up, favorite TV show by Ryan Murphy. Well, first asked if I know who Ryan Murphy is. I do. The only show I've seen by Ryan Murphy was American Horror Story, and as of the streaming of this video, I've only seen I've only seen the first season of American Horror Story, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it. So I guess my thoughts on Ryan Murphy are that I'm not the biggest fan, but also I can't really talk because I've only seen one season of Ryan Murphy's stuff. Next question, favorite actor, hands down, Daniel Day-Lewis. That's not even a question. I love Daniel Day-Lewis. Stinks that he's retiring, but great actor, great actor. Favorite actress, that's hard. Honestly, it's between Scarlett Johansson and Kate Winslet. I think in regards to like sheer force, Scarlett Johansson might win, but Kate Winslet, she's incredible. I realized a couple months ago that she has like a major accent. I didn't realize that. Like her American accent is off the charts, incredible, and she's in some of my favorite movies, like the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Little Children, Revolutionary Road. She's a fantastic actress. I really do like her. Well, Scarlett Johansson, I give a lot of props to because she balances art house action and these big blockbuster movies like Marvel movies. So I don't know. I guess it's a tie between those two for now. For now. Marco also asks, "Do you like Lost?" I've never seen it. Not gonna lie, it's one of those shows that I've never started because my thing with TV shows is I watch TV shows that are like 8 episodes to 13 episodes. If it's more than that, probably not gonna watch it. And Lost has several seasons where it's like 20 plus episodes. Plus, I've heard it doesn't really get that good towards the end, so I'm like, I'm good. But I've heard some good things about it. Marco, you know me. Favorite Twin Peaks character? It's an obvious answer, but I'm gonna say it. It's Agent Cooper, Dougie. He's great. I mean, I love Agent Cooper, but in Twin Peaks: The Return with Dougie, with just the stuff like with the with the slot machines where he's like, "Hello!" every time he sees it. I don't know. I just love that. I think it's hilarious. Man, Twin Peaks was great. Thanks for the Dr. Marco. Next up, LC Screen Talk. Yes. And my boy Larry. Larry asks, LC Screen Talk, what is your favorite superhero and why? It's it's one of those things where I grew up loving Superman, and I'm gonna stick with that. I like Superman because the idea of a superhero trying to find his place in the world as well as himself, that always kind of fascinated me, especially given the fact that he needs to learn how to control like his strength and everything because he's very powerful. So that whole idea really fascinated me. If you could live in any fiction film universe, which would you choose? Another great question. LC Screen Talk, not gonna lie, that was another one of those questions where I was like, holy cow, how do I answer this? Um, I went with two Spike Jones movies. Either Her, which came out in 2013, or Being John Malkovich, 1999. Because with Her, I like the idea of full acceptance because that universe really does show acceptance where it's like, hey, someone can be dating an AI and it's like nobody thinks twice about it. Like I like that idea. Like I'm not saying that's me, but I'm saying that I like that idea of a world where everyone's accepting of each other. I like that idea. Being John Malkovich, I like that idea of a world where you can go in a portal into someone's mind and experience everything that they're doing. I mean, I really like that idea. And I don't know, those are just two fiction film universes that I would really like to be in. It's difficult to choose. Maybe Her. But Oh boy, Rich reviews. Rich, you really did ask a lot of questions, but it's fine. I'll give you that because you and LC Screen Talk have been following me for under 100 subscribers. I mean, so you guys have been following me for a while. So I'll give you this Rich review. So, Rich reviews first question. Again, he asked like 13, but his first question: ever walked out on a film? Ironically, I was going through all my ticket stubs, and I think the only one, and this is going to sound so strange to those of you that actually know me, I think the only movie I actually walked out of was 20th Century Woman. And 20th Century Woman it's a A24 movie. So I know those of you that know me are like, wait a minute, you love A24. Hear me out. I saw Silence, the Martin Scorsese movie, like right before that. I was doing a double header, and I got really depressed and everything. And so I then started watching 20th Century Women, and it's a very feminist movie, which I'm fine with now. But like at the time, I was just kind of like, oh man, I just got like I just got like really depressed watching this movie. And now 20th Century Women is essentially saying like how men are terrible. At least that's the message I got during the time. Obviously, now that's not the case. So halfway through, I just walked out. And it's funny because I walked out of that movie, but I didn't walk out of like Unplanned or the fifth Transformers or any of those movies. It's just kind of like, really, Chad? I know it's weird, but good question. Good question. Have you ever been to Alamo Draft House Theater? I have not. Unfortunately, there's not an Alamo Draft House near me. It stinks because based on what you were saying, Rich, it seems to be really cool, and it's a something that is definitely going to be on the list of like, hey, things I want to do, my bucket list. Um, Rich Reviews also ask, would you rather watch tennis, hockey, golf, NASCAR? Tennis, well, without a doubt, honestly. Would you date Zendaya? I would not. I am currently dating someone, the love of my life, so that's out of the question. But so, Zendaya was great in Euphoria. We'll say that much. Have you met any celebrities? I personally have not. One of my friends actually recently met M. Night Shyamalan, and I was very jealous because I wish I was hanging out with him like during that specific date, but of course I wasn't. So I have not, unfortunately. I hope to someday. Um, are you going to put out a worst movies of the decade list? Honestly, I should. I'm not sure yet, honestly, but I really should. I feel like what would be even more interesting was best of the decade list because I feel like that'd be even more difficult. Good question though. I don't know the answer just yet. Um, Would you want to? Sorry, I'm right. I wrote all this down. Would you want to see an It Chapter 3 prequel? Absolutely not. I think that two chapters to It is fine. No more, no less. Stop. Just don't make any more. But I know they'll probably make a third because the second one's going to make a ton of money. Richard Hughes also asks, worst Netflix film? The Cloverfield Paradox. That movie was completely garbage. That Super Bowl that year was pretty exciting. So to see an exciting Super Bowl and then to come home and experience a very dull movie, not fun. Um, I haven't really seen too many Netflix movies, to be fair, but for me personally, that was one that kind of stuck out as, hey, that was terrible. But Richard would also ask best worst the CW shows. Sorry, I can't give you an answer to that because I haven't seen any. I was looking it up and I haven't seen any CW shows. Just not my jam. Now, if you had asked me HBO shows, that would have been a heck of a question because that I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know how to answer that because I love HBO. If there was a biopic made about your life, who would play you? Oh, geez. Um, my girlfriend would tell everyone Seth Rogen, so I'll go with Seth Rogen. That's my Seth Rogen laugh. But yeah, I don't know. I'll say that for now. And Rich Review's last question: have you and would you ever go to a San Diego Comic Con? I have not. To answer that question though, I'm a cheapskate, like a huge cheapskate. So I would want to because I feel like that experience of like seeing those trailers drop for the first time, just everyone in cosplay, possibly meeting celebrities, that seems to be a very interesting environment. But again, I'm a cheapskate, so I don't know. It's one of those things where I want to, but I know I'm a cheapskate, so it's like, probably not. But those are the first page done. Sorry, next one. Um, movie Seriosity is next. So, movie Seriosity, you also looks like had a lot of questions, which is completely fine. I'm glad everyone was asking all these questions. The first question for movie Seriosity that he asked me was, where do you see this channel in 2 years? Um, Honestly, I'm hoping for 400 subscribers. Again, this channel was originally made just for fun, and even now, it's just made for fun. So if I can see a growth of 200 more subscribers, like 200 more people saying, "Hey, I can stand your reviews. I like your point of view, and it's very interesting to see another open-minded individual." That'd be pretty awesome. But I'm still blessed that 200 people are like, you know what, subscribing. So again, wishful thinker with 400. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's hope for it. Movie Curiosity also asks, do you have a movie pass at your local cinema? Not movie pass. I actually stopped movie pass in, I believe it was summer of 2018, so about a year ago. Now I have AMC A list. There is a Regal pass now, but AMC A list is AMC's close by to my place, and honestly, I really like AMC. Not only because I've grown up with it, not a nostalgia factor. It's just the fact that I really do like their theater chain. I don't know, it's just what they're able to bring about. They have that environment. Um, but yeah, movie Curiosity also asks, favorite movie reviewer that you watch. Jeez. It's tough. It really depends on like how much time I have. So like if I have an hour to spare, Red Letter Media is fantastic. I absolutely love those guys like Mike and Jay and their whole shtick with their TV repairman. If I'm getting ready for the morning and I have like 5 minutes, Jeremy Jen, man, Jeremy Jen is awesome. I really like his reviews. He's like that mainstream person that is just like the ultimate nerd, but he does his videos in a style where it's like 4 or 5 minutes, and that's something I have a very difficult time doing. So it's like, oh wow, like I give you props, man, because you do something that I wouldn't be able to do. And his editing is also very interesting. So I guess I'll go with Jeremy again for now. But again, it really depends on like time restraint. Next question: do all your friends and family know you review movies? Absolutely. It's one of those things where I talk about movies and TV shows all the time. So it's one of those things where people kind of ask from time to time, like, "Hey, how's your channel?" Or, "Oh yeah, I saw your one review." Or they'll be like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." It's one of those things where, "Yeah, yeah, are you gonna be reviewing this?" And it's like, I obviously review it. So yeah, they know. It's not a question. It'd be very difficult for me to honestly hide the fact that I love movies and TV shows, especially that I review them. Oh, this is another good question for Movie Seriosity. What are your other hobbies besides movies? Great question. So besides movies, I also love watching TV shows. Obviously, I do love cooking. Cooking for me, I found is very therapeutic, and not only that, because I am kind of a health nut. I appreciate cooking and sautéing things because I really do get a great feeling of just being able to say, "Hey, I made something. I like the taste of this." And being able to say that, I don't know, I really like it. And also just knowing the health benefits, it's pretty awesome. Which leads to nutrition. I love nutrition. I love being able to focus on different things that like, oh wow, like this vegetable is good for you in this category. Like, oh yeah, this vegetable you get good potassium. Or oh no, like this ingredient is very controversial. Like this ingredient could lead to this, this, and this. But at the same time, it can also get positive effects of this, this, and this. I like that. It's confusing nutrition. I'm not gonna lie, but it's also very interesting. I find at least. Working out, I do work out as well. I do that 5 days a week. Thankfully, at my gym, my mistake. There's a gym, so I work out like a lunch break, and it's very nice. I really do like it. Mental capacity and not necessarily like bulk, but I'll get to that point. Hang out with my girlfriend. I do love shopping, especially for food shopping. I love food. What can I say? Um, but yeah, just some of my other hobbies besides movies, obviously. Next question from Movie Curiosity: would you ever be interested in being in a film? Yeah, absolutely. I love films. Honestly, my little brother, he was in filmmaking this past year, and I helped him with all his movies. Actually, I pretty much filmed all of his movies. And some people might be like, "Oh, well, you were doing this project." It's like, yeah, but it's because I enjoy it. So if I had the opportunity to be in a film, absolutely, I would love being in it. I know I'm not that good of an actor. In fact, I'm not a good actor. But behind the camera, I would love it. I really love it. Next question from Movie Curiosity: what is the key to your consistent uploading in the last number of years? Awesome question. Actually, might be one of the best questions. So here's the thing, Movie Curiosity. When I first started doing this channel, I was living at my parents' house. So with that in mind, I didn't really have like a place to film reviews consistently, which is why if you look at my older reviews, there'll be sometimes where I'll be filming in either like the living room, the back porch, my car, all these areas. It was like the type of situation where if I was able to film it there or there, I would do it. And what also kind of led to it is the fact that I wasn't as healthy as I should have been back then. Like when I first created the channel, I wasn't that healthy. But because I have my own place now and everything, the reason why I've been able to get all these reviews out and everything so fast is because I've been eating healthy. I've been getting 8 hours of sleep every day. And when I go to the movies on Thursdays, I do a double header. I have in my mind like going into the review, knowing what I'm going to say. I then say it, edit it, and then quickly post it. So the key is essentially 8 hours of rest, a place that I'm able to just be able to film at any point in time and just get it out. And also just MoviePass was great for the time being, an AMC A list. If I didn't have AMC A list, not gonna lie, my reviews would go from like seeing 100 plus movies per year to probably maybe 40, 50. Not gonna lie. So AMC, if you're paying attention to this, which you're probably not, you guys are the best. So that's the key to me getting it out. Hopefully that was a suffice answer. Move Curiosity, three more questions. If you could only watch the films of one actor and actress for the rest of your life, who would you choose? Oh, jeez. Oh boy. I have a lot of answers on all these papers, but that's one of those ones where I was like, oh, improv. First I'll go with an actress, like films of an actress for the rest of your life that I could watch. Um, I, Kate Winslet's one of them because I feel like she always is very consistent with her work. Same with Scarlett Johansson, which I know is kind of like a repeat of what I was saying prior. But I loved what they were saying with that. Also, I really did. I really did dig. What's her name? I can't believe I'm losing my mind right now with this question. Uh, well, Ellen Page is one of those actresses where I could really watch. But again, I know I'm just saying like a bunch of questions right now, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. As far as an actor goes, that would probably go to Daniel Day-Lewis without a question. He's one of those actors where I've seen pretty much all of his movies, and all of them, even if they're not the best, he still is incredible in them. Like check out the movie Nine. The movie Nine was not good, but Daniel Day-Lewis killed it in that movie. So just throwing it out there. Um, Favorite collaborator? Oh boy, Movie Seriosity wants me to get shot. Movie Seriosity, you were great to work with. I also really dug working with LC Screen Talk. I know Rich Reviews wanted to work with me in a collaboration video, which hopefully that will happen. I also would love to work with the Misfit Ponds. I feel like that'd be really interesting. Misfit Ponds, great. I know I'm forgetting. I know I worked with someone else. I'm trying to think. I don't have a favorite. I don't want to pick a favorite because everyone I worked with was great. So just being honest, it's just been great. Skynet Jen, you were great to work with as well. Next question, and then I'll get to. I've noticed Rich Reviews has a couple comments. I'm looking in the live stream, so let me check those out. But first, Movie Curiosity's last question. Next major evolution in the film industry. Shoot. Well, I wrote this down and I still 100% agree with this. 100% CGI film with realistic looking characters and or de-aging. So The Lion King kind of did that. Um, but I'm saying that with humans, I feel like it's going to get to the point where it's 100% CGI, but they're humans. And when I say that, I mean like a movie like The Irishman. Like The Irishman is kind of going in that direction. I know some people aren't the best. They're not the best. Like here's the thing. Um, the Irishman, some people are kind of complaining about it, but I feel like The Irishman is also kind of paving the way for the fact that 100% people are going to be like Robert De Niro, 80 years old, but then he'll be like 40 years old, like in the movie for the entire movie. I feel like that's where we're going to with movies. And it also then kind of begs the question of, well, do you kind of need actors or is this just going to be 100% video games? So I don't know. It begs the question. I 100% say, though, it's going to be CGI with making characters be able to de-age. You not even really need actors that are old because you can turn them into young looking. So that's just my opinion, though. But good question, Movie Curiosity. Now, Rich Reviews, I'm getting to your comments now. Let me see in the live stream. So, always will be a Jeremy Jen fan. Stuckman never grasped. Stuckman, I really like. He's gotten even more interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I really do kind of like how he doesn't really give movies A+. Like, I used to always kind of watch his reviews and be like, this dude's always giving movies A+ ratings. But now it's like, I really love this movie. This movie is one of the best of the year. I give it an A-. It's like, okay. But I don't know. I like both of them. Which reviews, would you ever go to Hell's Kitchen? Uh, no. No. I actually finally saw an episode of Hell's Kitchen actually this weekend. Definitely not. Gordon Ramsay, I love. I loved him on Hot Ones, but I can't see myself honestly going on there. I haven't grasped that because my cooking style is a lot different. Like their cooking style is essentially, you got a recipe, you got to try and figure it out and base it off of the judges' criteria. Me, I'm personally one of those people where it's like I have an idea of a dish and then I'll improv a little bit and just kind of experiment based on my taste buds. So kind of selfish, but that's just kind of how I am. Let's see. Rich Review's last question. Worst theater and worst theater experience. Okay, so worst theater. Worst theater. Okay, so worst theater and then worst theater. Okay, so the worst theater. My friend John and I. This was about when we saw True Grit. It was about 9 years ago. We were in Jersey. I forget the name of the theater, but it was like a Regal theater, and it was the type of theater where if this is the seats, they were like bunched apart. There's like one seat here, one seat there, two seats here, two seats there. It was just so weird. And it just made things like awkward because there were so few seats. And we almost weren't able to sit next to each other because of how few seats there are. On top of the fact that, hey, they they had like so few seats that were just like all branched apart. So it was just annoying. And then worst theater experience. Honestly, I think the worst theater experience honestly has mostly been this year. The Lego Movie Part Two. I saw an early screening 2 weeks before it actually came out, and it was mostly kids with their parents. Okay, that's fine. I've seen kid movies before, but in this case, little problem. The kids wouldn't shut up throughout the entire movie. They was crying and everything, and instead of getting all the people out of the theater, they just would let them stay there. And I'm just like, are you serious? And then you get to actually, ironically, tonight as I'm streaming this, Overcomer. Overcomer was also another bad experience. But the Lego Movie Part Two was the worst experience. But Overcomer was a bad experience just because people were so loud during it. It's like, really, can you just be quiet during a movie, please, for 1 second? But definitely it goes to Lego Movie Part Two. Just saying that. Jacob Martin. Jacob, firstly, I wanted to say I'm sorry I haven't been answering your comments the past couple days. It's one of those things where with YouTube, I always like look at the comments and I always forget to respond right away. So just apologizing. So let me read your comment. Jacob Martin, Stuckman, I would watch over Jen any day. He seems more insightful into movies in general. I'm intrigued by his current transformation in actual filmmaker. Jacob, my boy, you have a good point. And I didn't think about that. Because Stuckman also has balls because, like, Jeremy Jen, again, Jeremy Jen I like more in terms of entertainment value. But, like, here's the thing. Jeremy Jen, he doesn't go into independent and art house movies. Like, he doesn't watch them unless they're popular, unless they reach mainstream media. But Stuckman reviews movies that, like, I didn't even really know about until he reviewed them. Like, Revenge. Last year, Stuckman reviewed Revenge, and I wouldn't have heard about it if it wasn't for his review. Saw it, really dug it. So I'll give you props, Jacob Martin. That's a good opinion. Um, Rich reviews. Thankfully, never had a cam like theater. Ours closed several years ago, but in the lobby they had a closet in which they stored their popcorn. They pop their corn They pop their corn one a week. Interesting. Yeah, no. I feel like Texas and Philadelphia they deal with a lot of different things. I would not be able to handle that honestly. I mean, honestly, theaters have changed so much. I mean, it's honestly crazy how much they've changed. Because I mean, I remember 5 years ago, honestly, like it was the type of situation where there was like always security, there was a lot more people, and also here's the thing: not only was there more people, but they were more strict. Like it was the type of situation where if there was any indication that you might have food, they would like want to search you. Now I bring a backpack all the time; they don't search me. I mean, I go all the time, but they don't search me. Which reviews? I suffer through the film Fireproof. Yeah, I did too. My Overcomer review, I still need to edit that tonight, but that should be posting later on tonight. Yeah, I've seen all of the Kendrick brother movies, except War Room. That was what it was called. I didn't see War Room, but I've seen all their other stuff. Not a fan. Not a fan. I can respect that though. Rich reviews. If movie tickets ever get above $20 a ticket, I will stop going to movies. Um, I mean, unless I don't know if you have AMC near you, Rich, but if you do, honestly, that'd be a good idea to get because the way it works with AMC A List is it's for me now it's $21.95 per month. You can see 12 movies. So I mean, if it's $20 per movie, but I have AMC A List and it's $21.95, I don't care honestly because I mean I'll be saving money nonetheless. Saving money now. I mean I'm here reviewing like 10, 12 movies per month in theaters for $20, 21.95. You can't beat that, honestly. You really can't. So, let's see if there's any more comments. I should do more live streams. It's kind of fun, actually. But yeah. Also, I wanted to say I'm gonna try and introduce living in Charlottesville. We have 3 theaters. One at Alamo Draft House. The second is called Violet Crown and a Regal. Interesting. Charlottesville. Oh, so Charlottesville. So you live in that's South Carolina. Interesting. Um, yeah, Alamo and Violet. I'm not familiar with. Honestly, around me, it's Regal or AMC. There's also I think it's called like Penn Cinema or something like that. But there's just so many AMC's and Regals near me. But I always have that favorite AMC. Excuse me, that I always go to, and it's honestly great. But yeah, I'll have to at some point check out an Alamo Draft House. Maybe if I'm on the road sometime, just check it out. Be like, hey, check this out. Which is, since you were saying that, it's good. Water. But yeah. So, anyways, what I was saying is, oh wait, we're one of three locations for Violet Crown. The other two is Austin. Oh, so it must be like an independent train. If it's very specific, I mean, if you're one of three, um, we should do a Google Hangout. Honestly, I don't think that they have Google Hangout anymore, Rich. I'm pretty sure that they got rid of that. Like, I think it was in August. At least that's what I heard. Jacob Martin, there's a local discount dollar theater 30 minutes where I'm from. That's $2 a ticket matinee. If there's a movie I'm not as hyped on, I'll just wait a month or two and watch them there. Give you props, Jacob Martin. I'm not gonna lie, I give you props because I'm terrible when it comes to patience. In regards to movies, like that's why I see movies Thursday nights. It's not just because I want to get the movie review out. It's mostly because I just can't. I don't like when movies are spoiled for me, and that's one of the reasons why I see movie as soon as possible. But I'll give you that. There are some movies where it's like I miss it in theaters, and then a couple months later I'll end up watching it. Like Crystal La Llorona. I've already filmed my review and everything for that, so I'll be posting that soon. But that's a movie that I just missed in theaters. I wasn't too hyped up for, like you were saying, Jacob Martin. But instead of spending $2, got it from the library for free, watched it, and I'm not going to say if I liked it or not. So obviously you guys can watch the review. But yeah, that's my thoughts though on that. As I've been trying to say now, let me just real quickly get this out. What I'm going to be doing with this live stream is, and I don't know if you can do this, so I'll see, is that each person that commented, well, that commented in the previous video, what I'm going to do is for that specific person, I'm going to have like a time label as to like when they commented, and then like after that, just the comments on like the actual live stream. Rich reviews. At the height, we had 7 theaters in Charlottesville, 4 first run, 2 second run, and 1 indie theater. 1 is open now for the film festival. I would love to go to film festival, honestly. Indie theater is also great because because I go to AMC, and I know it's just going to be a rant about AMC, I know, but because AMC is also for the masses, like it's not an indie theater, they do have some great independent movies that play, but they also cater towards those mainstream audiences. So like, there's not as much independent movies as there could be. But it's still nice to have those independent movie selections. Um, but Yeah, the live stream I'll probably be getting off in a little bit just because it's been 38 minutes. But I will be putting a timestamp for each person that commented, and then I'll have a certain situation where it's just like, hey, after this moment, this is where all the live comments were. But which reviews, I almost never go to Regal due to a sterile environment. Um, yeah, I really didn't like Regal for a while. But before AMC changed for AMC near me, I should say, they changed their Dolby and IMAX to like these really comfortable seats. Once that happened, and once my girlfriend and I got AMC A list, we didn't have to worry about going to Regal. But like for a little while when I had Movie Pass, I did go to Regal because they had the comfortable seats. But I've always been an AMC fanboy. Um, do you think VR is the future of movies? I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely like a possibility, given the fact that I mean, movies and video games have been focused on it a lot. So I mean, it's a possibility. Are you watching final season of Ballers? No, Ballers is never a show I got into. I never watched even an episode. I know it's Dwayne Johnson. I know it's HBO, but it's just one of those HBO shows I just never got around to watching. Currently, right now on HBO, I'm watching Succession. That's airing, I should say, and then The Deuce is coming back September 9th, and I have one more episode, and I'm caught up on that. So I'm watching those two shows from from HBO. I love HBO though; they're great. If you don't know that by now, I love HBO. Um, yeah, guys, that is enough for now. Though I really do appreciate all the comments, and I will talk to you guys later. Because again, I appreciate all the comments, guys, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Tell your friends and family about this, and let's get to 300, 400. We can do it, guys. Again, I really appreciate all the support from you guys, and I will talk to you guys later.